Greetings, my excellent friends. Welcome back to Let's Play Trails in the Sky First Chapter. This is Gavarok. I am here with my talented co-host, MJ.
Hello. Once again, hyping me up too much.
There is no such thing as too much of hyping up MJ. That is not something I've heard of. I've never... what? This is...
You're hearing of it now.
Okay, well, I will write a letter to the editor on how I disagree with that sentiment. And the editor is me, because this is my video. But that's just how it's gotta be. I believe we talked to everybody in town, except for the place we have to go, which is this general goods shop, to buy a newspaper for our dad. We finished our bracer training exam. We've become official junior bracers, ready to go out into the world and solve people's problems for small fees and the betterment of society. And the first problem we have to solve is that our dad needs a newspaper.
Woo!
Let's talk to his mother first. You're glad that his store has gone back on track. Congratulations. The world has become much easier ever since the first orbments were invented. Yeah, no, that's a thing. That's a thing. 50 years ago, they were basically medieval, and now they're, like, super technological leap forward because of these little tiny orb devices. And a lot of the older people in these games are struggling with that a little.
I see parallels. To real life, I mean.
Actually, maybe you should be a little louder in the game right now.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if you turned yourself down, or...
I did not. I just talked a little quieter.
Okay. That came a little under the music. I might just... I can click the music down a tad after this scene. Anyway.
Okay. Alright.
Hey there, Estelle and Joshua. How can I help you? Did you manage to become bracers?
You bet we did! Maybe I should have you start calling me Hyper Bracer Estelle from now on.
By the way, Mr. Rinon, did the Liberl news come in? Yeah, it came in a little afternoon.
Don't brush me off like that, you two! Oh, whatever. I'll take one copy then.
That comes to 100 mira, please. That's okay, that's 100 out of the 400,000 we inexplicably have.
We are rich!
Yeah!
I know my dad always buys a copy of this magazine. But does it really sell that well?
It sure does. Liberl News has an excellent reporter and camera woman. I'm just letting that sink in. Who have done a great job reporting the latest and most reliable news. They're even supposed to have a running story related to Queen Alicia's birthday celebration. One more thing before you go. This gift is my way of saying congratulations. It's a free sample item I received with my shipment of goods, but don't hold the free part against me. A recipe book.
What's this supposed to be for? There's a ton of blank pages.
It's a recipe book, isn't it? There was a pop-up that came up on screen, said recipe book in orange. You got it! When you get hurt fighting, if you just limit yourself to healing bombs all the time, it's gonna cut pretty deep into your wallets. This is where a recipe book comes into play. If you eat food to recover your strength instead, it's basically free! Assuming you have all the ingredients anyway. So, if you eat something new, write down what's in it, you'll have lots of recipes in no time. Why am I teaching you guys how to food? I don't know. Game tutorials are strange and ham-fisted, huh? Speaking of ham, you can put those in a sandwich if you put the right recipe together in your recipe book. So how about we try this out? Go ahead and eat this cookie, Estelle.
Oh, heck yeah! Maple cookie? A maple cookie? Well, I have made it a personal rule to never turn down sweets.
8 maple cookie.
Yeah!
Mysteriously learned how to cook to make a maple cookie. Basically, all you have to do is eat the food to learn the recipe. Don't ask us how that works. As you're traveling about, you should eat anything you come across that you haven't had an opportunity to try before. Especially funny-colored mushrooms growing in the woods. Well, that sounds pretty convenient and not at all potentially lethal.
It's not that I don't like cooking and all, it's just that I never seem to get any better. I'd sure love to be able to increase my repertoire and really shock my dad's taste buds for once in my life. Maybe I can put in some of those funny colored mushrooms.
Well, if you want to shock his taste buds, you just need to put like a little taser in there.
Oh, delicious.
Yeah. I've heard those hurt. That's the spirit.
Supposedly.
And in passing, if you're in need of any ingredients, I'd be delighted to service your cooking needs.
You really know how to solicit your customers, Mr. Rinon.
Thank you for the recipe book. We'll put it to good use. Eating the recommended dish at restaurants or using to-go meals adds the recipe. Yes. By selecting the recipe book, you can see everything made. There's 2 types of food. Sit down, which is like, you make it and you immediately eat it, and then to-go are items.
I love that that's a mechanic.
Yeah.
Like, I get it, but just the idea of like, oh, I have to have a sit-down meal or a to-go meal. Like, I'm just taking my little McDonald's Happy Meal with me while I go beat up some monsters.
So if we make the cookie, and we can make 99 of them at once. Because we have 99 of all the stuff. We normally wouldn't. If you're playing this new, first of all, don't watch this playthrough. Watch a better one that isn't about fucking story if you're going to play this new. But because we already have many grindings worth of ingredients, I have 99 of so much shit.
We are rich.
And yeah,
rich with maple cookies.
I could make maple cookies very quickly. I could also unlock all of these recipes right now by eating the stuff. That's not a bad idea. Vegetable sandwiches especially. This is called the money breaking recipe in this game. Because the cost of 99 the cost of 5 milled flour, 1 flaky potato, and 1 crisp onion from a shop is cheaper than the cost of selling 1 vegetable sandwich. So, if you would like to never ever worry about your money in Trails of the Sky first chapter, all you need to do is buy as much of this stuff as you can, make as many of these as you can, sell them, and repeat until you have until you have infinite money. It takes a while, but you can just get all of your equipment up to the maximum that you can buy and just completely ruin the game's natural sense of progression in that factor. If that suits you as a player, which it does me quite a lot. So that's my tip.
Infinite sandwich hack.
I could eat all of these and unlock the recipes.
Apple ice cream.
Actually, specialty eggnog. A lot of these are from later in the game, but since I have them, salmon manure. I didn't say that right at all. Munir?
I do not know how to pronounce that.
Munir? It's definitely not salmon manure. We'll get fruity milk, azalea rose, briny delight, holy popcorn, rainbow jelly beans. I think apple ice cream is the other one that's worth more. That's the one you use later when you unlock it for even faster money gain. We've got a milk crepe and a beast steak. We've got a vegetable sandwich, a drill meatball, and a tomato sandwich, which is a bitter assault on the tongue. And there we go. There's still a bunch that I didn't have in my inventory, but yeah, we should not have any of these right now except for the maple cookie. But I don't think recipes are a spoiler. But yeah, you can buy a bunch of stuff at differing costs and then make your food. And I think that's everything. Can you say anything new now that I've talked to him? No. Now we go home. To give the news to our dad. Oh, but that's right. This is what was going to remind me. We picked up a book and we didn't read it, and we've also got the news.
Yes!
So, the news and this Carnelia book, as the game continues, you find more issues and more chapters. So, this is good world-building stuff. SC 1202, that's the year. The Queen's birthday is approaching. The 60th anniversary. Preparations are underway. Featured story, The Queen's 60th is nigh. A milestone anniversary. The half-year countdown to Her Majesty Queen Alicia's 60th birthday celebration has begun. This has been a banner year for Her Royal Highness, sparking more anticipation than this event has ever seen before. But we must not forget, too, that this year is the 10th since the 100 Days' War, a period of intense turmoil for all of Liberl. As we celebrate, let us also reflect on the tragedies of the past, so that we may refrain from ever reliving them in the future. We have been afforded this luxury of hindsight, and we must use it to its fullest. Do you want to swap off for the second story?
Yes, alright. Main Street is filled with the bustle of men and women furiously preparing decor and merchandise for the upcoming festivities and developing new products specifically for sale during the celebration. The competition is truly cutthroat.
We get a photo of the capital city there. That's Grand Cell, making preparations.
Look at them go.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, do I have to do a Miss Sorbet impersonation here? I yearn for my customers' taste buds to sing with delight, says Miss Sorbet, a local ice cream purveyor who deals her wares in the city's East Block. Sadly, her new menu will remain a mystery to us until the day of the festival. As the population grows, more and more businesses pop up all around me. But all that means is more customers, especially at festival time, so I'm certainly not complaining, she exclaims with a sly smile. Miss Sorbet seems to have a few tricks up her sleeve, so to all her competitors we say, watch out.
Who shall stand and who shall fall? Prior to the festival, Her Majesty will be hosting our annual martial arts competition in the Royal Arena. This fiercely competitive tournament is always a big hit, with some avid spectators even regarding it as the day's main event. Which team will come out on top? Well, I'm sure it'll have nothing to do with us as JRPG protagonists.
Alright. Burglaries across the Bose region. That's right, Bose?
Bose, I would say, yes.
Okay. According to our sources, the Bose region has seen a string of burglaries.
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 A string of burglarings.
A string. Tasty. Over the last several days, and the people have had enough. That's not biased reporting at all. That's the way to phrase it. All right. The Royal Army Border Patrol stationed at the Haken Gate has been stepping up efforts to apprehend the group of criminals responsible for these acts, and anyone with information on their identities is urged to contact the Border Patrol immediately.
And in travel, finding the perfect getaway. The Kingfisher Inn, along the beautiful Valeria Lakeshore, is more popular than ever following a visit from the women of the royal city. All of them. Every single
All
woman.
of the women?
The men were so
All of them?
confused. They woke up and the women were gone. Won't you come and
Mass
fish with
migration.
us too?
Wow. That's we're phrasing stuff there. Okay. All right.
All of the women.
Interesting. All of them. Every single one.
Okay. This one isn't broken up. Like, well, this one's broken up.
Non-binary people were so confused.
So, but the people who hadn't quite made their who were still thinking about it and were like, well, I wasn't summoned to the lake meeting, therefore I must truly be NB after all. So it was quite helpful in that sense. Got a couple people to their decision.
Good for them.
Yeah. The Imperial Chronicle, part 1 of a fictional novel published in Liberl. So this is set in the Erebonian Empire, which is the scary people to the north who were at war with us 10 years ago. There's Bose, by the way. See it in the north.
Bose.
And the Haken Gate is the border with Erebonia, which makes it the scariest place in Liberl.
Oh, fun.
You'll see. Here we are, the Imperial Chronicle. If we remember, rather than swap in the middle because of there's no proper paragraph breaks, we'll just have you read chapter 2 and then I'll read the odd numbers as we go further into the game. The Imperial Chronicle. I stood there, upright in the front of the revolving door, scuffing the heels of my boots against the ground. Pulling slightly on the collar of my trench coat, I dropped my chin and gazed at my partial reflection in the curved glass. Aside from my short-cropped hair, I wore a modest-looking double-breasted leather raincoat with a pair of special-order steel-reinforced boots, both of which, at first glance, appear to be the most common of common apparel. Yet they were in fact much more than the naked eye could detect. My ordinary, average appearance, it was of just as much importance today as it had been on any other day in times past. Not far off, the sound of footfalls echoed rhythmically like the steady beat of a pendulum swinging back and forth, as the throngs of those coming and going moved quickly along the cobblestone avenue, enveloped and tinged silver by the morning mist. At times, the calling voice of a street peddler disrupted the steady flow, but as soon as the hawking cry faded away, it would resume its course. Each morning that I found myself setting foot in the Imperial City, I also found my surroundings to be unchanged and stained by the same somber tone of grey. Snatching up a magazine from the underarm of a street vendor, I tossed a few mira into the left hand, poised expectantly behind his back. The Imperial Chronicle. The magazine I read so often that even the ink bleeds were familiar. Roughly flipping over its cover, I scanned the headlines along the top of its monochrome pages. Then, suddenly, my breath caught in my throat. At the very bottom of the local news page, I found those letters, that sequence of characters which I had not heard nor seen since the time of that life-changing incident. My eyes instantly gravitated to the spot and for a time remained fixated. Ein Cellmate. The very meaning of those letters became lost to my senses as I stood motionless, my gaze fixed on the same line of text until it all seemed to coalesce into a single blotch of ink. After a few seconds of blank comprehension, my vision settled, and I wrenched my eyes to the beginning of the article. As I began to read, my memories verged on a single point in my past, and then slowly started to run in reverse, heading for that fateful event 3 years prior, when this name was first introduced to me. It was on an afternoon, all those years ago, on a day not unlike this one, where the capital was overshadowed by its typical gloomy aura. I was a little younger than now, a 22-year-old boy who stood silently in front of the boutique door as usual, double-checking his appearance before lightly treading over to Micht's Imperial Factory. It was on this day that it had been arranged for me to receive a new job from Micht, the shop owner himself. Although he was a drab, middle-aged man, I, being the orbment enthusiast I was, had found myself as one of his few regular customers. I headed down a dank alleyway, and after dodging a few memes and passing through a partially rotted wooden gate, I could see the soft glow of the flickering orbal light just outside the entrance of the factory, whose structure was halfway below street level. I first began receiving jobs from Micht about the time when dissension began to occur in society over the 100 Days' War. It was during this period that relations between the Liberl kingdom and the Empire were at their worst, and the importation of orbments had become almost non-existent. Conspiring with underground elements and planning a smuggling operation, Micht made me out to be his accomplice in crime. For the job which I received by his hand was no other than that of the courier. Being nothing more than a commoner in my teens at the time I met him, and a juvie devoid of any connections in life besides, I naturally jumped at the opportunity without a moment's hesitation. Yet even after relations with Liberl had returned to some degree of normalcy, I realized I was in no mood to give up my specialty, which focused mainly on the delivery of stolen goods. The reason being, there was no job out there which could bring in the kind of mirror this one did. With an unrefined and inconspicuous appearance, I had countless times before hidden items of various sorts in my hat and trousers and made my way hither and thither between the borders of these neighbouring nations. Although to my delight, my wallet had become increasingly laden with a bounty of monetary rewards, I had routinely changed my alias as a precautionary measure. So much, in fact, that these false names had built up into quite a list over the last few years. I've been known as Phil the Frivolous, Rooney the Trickster, and even Chris the Coward. However, Micht had always called me by one name, Toby. This was the identity I had used for my initial job, and the one I liked above all the others. But if we want to know what he's stealing, we gotta wait.
For the next chapter, alas.
Uh-oh, I think Ina was me. Estelle! Joshua! Oh, am I glad I found you two.
Oh, hi, Ina!
Is something wrong? You seem to be in quite a hurry. We've got a bit of a problem. Is your father at home today?
Yes, he is. He said something about having to sort out a bunch of documents. But what's going on?
You know Luke and Pat, right?
Sure we do. In fact, we saw them not that long ago.
Though if you blink, you can miss them because they're always running around. What's wrong? Are they in some sort of trouble? I don't know how to say this, but I just heard from Uni that Luke and Pat ran off to the tower that lies in the northern outskirts of Roland.
You mean the Tower of...
I'd say Esmelas.
Esmelas? Esmelas. You mean the Tower of Esmelas? Isn't that place supposed to be a breeding ground for monsters?
First of all, phrasing, but that is what they say, yes. Unfortunately, at the moment, Scheherazade is out on other bracer business, so I want to ask your father to bring the boys home safely.
What are you talking about? There's no time for that. Joshua and I will go after them and bring them back.
I don't know if that's such a good idea. The two of you only just qualified to be junior bracers today. With all due respect, I believe that Estelle's judgment is correct in this situation. If the two of us hurry, we may even be able to catch up with the boys before they reach the tower. I understand. I will take responsibility for whatever happens. As an emergency request from the Bracer Guild, I ask that you lose no time in bringing about the safe return of these children.
Roger that!
Understood. The Esmelas Tower can be reached by taking the western path at the junction along the Malga Trail. You can get onto the Malga Trail through Roland's northwest gate. I'll be on standby at the guild, so if you run into any trouble, you know where to find me.
This is our first real job. Come on, Joshua. We don't have any time to lose.
I'm right behind you. Well, unless you change the character positions so that I'm right in front of you.
Don't despair, I'm behind you. I gotta throw in my references where I can.
Of course. And if we go here, Uni is now in there with them. I can't remember who was this kid, but it doesn't matter.
I think it was me. I wonder if Luke and Pat are all right. I tried my best to stop them.
Well. Counting on you to bring those boys back safely. The Esmelas Tower is at the west end of the Malga Trail. And no side quests yet, but that makes sense because this is kind of an emergency. Let's go home. No. But yeah, here we have child rescue. Urgent request. We don't know how much money we're going to get. Probably not really sensible to ask. Does Uni's dad have
not
an
really
update?
the point right now.
No. Okay, yeah, he still has no idea, but she's fine. She's in the guild. How about you? Do you?
Claire.
We remember that.
Claire.
I love that we're building a list of the NPCs you don't like. Can the cat wish us luck?
Cat.
There we go.
Yeah, thank you, Cat. I missed your name, but you're very cute.
Ariel.
Thank you, Ariel.
Anyway, that's gonna happen a lot, but that way they get listed in the monster guide. Beware of its attack after it stores up energy. Yeah, not at level 40, I don't.
That's a depressing monster to get right after I was talking about cute cats.
Flying feline?
Just give me a worse cat.
Yeah, it's
like,
basically
you like
cat
the last
but
cat?
angry.
You like this one. Angry cat.
And here we have the Lily Mover. It can't move, but it will shoot seeds at you. And it doesn't like fire.
Let's move out!
I can just start dodging these guys, but... yeah, there we go. I'll let that Lily Mover
Just gotta
live.
get the random encounters.
That one I didn't actually see! That one blended in so perfectly with the plants. I love that they literally cannot hurt us. Defense in this game is hilarious because attack and defense sort of
Let's move out!
the further away they get, it will just lower things to 0, as opposed to being like multiplicative. Not a thing remains in the chest except a lonely, dead spider. I'm not gonna like completion mode find all the chests, but I'll pick up the ones I can see just because their little messages are fun. So the Malga Mine, as you can see, we've got the Malga Mine in the top left, top right, and there's Esmelas Tower to the left of it. North from Roland, and then this is the split. So we're heading left. After we beat up more bunny cats.
Alright, we're good to go.
So they look like flying bunnies to me. I don't know why they're called felines.
I kind of see the cat.
No. The chest is empty.
bit
Whose
like
fault
the
is that? That'd be mine. And here we are. Here's the tower.
Ooh.
It's a perfectly normal thing to have in your neighborhood.
Totally. It looks like we've come all the way to Thetis. I will get this word right.
I believe in you.
I will try that again. I will take that. Take 2. We'll try it again. It looks like we've come all the way to the Esmelas Tower. We're just gonna roll with it. It's fine.
I am.
Estelle can say words.
The volume here. I think this will do.
Was I too loud or?
No, not of you. Of the music.
Oh, gotcha.
I probably should have done that
didn't see
earlier,
any-
like 24 minutes ago earlier. But fuck it. Continue.
It's fine. I didn't see any sign of them along the trail, so do you think they've wandered inside?
quite likely that's the case. Let's go in. Looks like we'll need to hurry.
Right. First floor.
One of us was the... Were you the excitable kid or the calmer kid?
I think... I don't know.
Do you want to be the excitable kid or the calmer kid? I guess if we do opposites from Estelle and Joshua, you should be the calmer kid, which is Pat.
That's fine. Alright. It's dark in here. I'm scared.
Quit being a baby! We're only on the first floor of this place.
Did you hear that? They really did come in here.
Estelle? Are you alright?
Luke! Pat! If you can hear me, answer me now! I peeked so bad on that.
You did alright.
Those little brats. Are they pretending they can't hear me?
They might have climbed up to the second floor. Let's hurry and see if we can find them. And we get no map here. But by the power of this not being a very complicated floor, we just walk forward and up a staircase.
What are we gonna do?
Somebody help!
Okay, we get our first
options.
decision.
I love decisions.
With me being familiar with the game, all those decisions are going to be made by you.
Oh, okay.
You can run full speed toward the voice, or rush in simultaneously with Josh.
This is really a decision between what I would do and what Estelle would do. But, I'm gonna say rush in simultaneously.
Now that you've made that decision, I will tell you that that's the correct answer.
Good, okay.
You get an extra, bracer point for the mission, which every time you lose one of those points, it's gone forever, and it's a little blemish against your completion. So when I played, I fucking looked up what the right answers were all the time. But if you're not going for full achievements, which I'm not, you don't have to do that. But yeah, rushing it with Joshua is the tactical choice and not.
I think Estelle would make the first choice. The second choice is yeah, that makes much more sense. Let's go, Joshua.
Right, I've got your back. But yeah, it's meant to be do you know how to work with your team as a bracer sort of check.
You monsters go somewhere else!
No! Shoo! Shoo! Leave us alone! Chew on this!
Estelle? What are you doing here?
Joshua! You're here too! Get back, you two. These monsters aren't playing around.
We'll take care of them. Very quickly.
There they go.
For anybody just tuning in for episode 4, I should probably say it at the start of each one. This is a New Game Plus run. We're doing it for the story.
Alright, we're good to go.
And we get teensy amounts of Sepith. Another 6 red Sepith to add to our small amount of 6,202.
That's nothing.
And we got Beast Flesh. Don't ask us how.
Beast flesh, okay. Interesting. It looks like that's that.
Yeah. I'm glad everyone's safe, too. By the way, that was great timing, the way you blitzed those monsters, Estelle.
You really think so? Is it safe now?
Oh man, that was awesome! You really showed them, Estelle. Not bad for a girl.
You little twerp!
Ow, that hurts! What are you trying to do to me?
What's wrong with you? You even dragged poor Pat all the way up here against his will. It's time to think about what you did today.
Ow, you're hurting me! Stop it! I said stop it, you violent she-devil!
So this is the thanks I get for saving your neck, huh? Looks like it's time to give you some of my special discipline.
Ow, 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 ow! Alright, Estelle, I'm sorry. Everything was all my fault.
Estelle? Shouldn't Can't we forgive each other like they teach at school?
Oh, he's so precious.
Oh, Pat. This brat doesn't need forgiveness, but a little discipline should do the trick.
Estelle, behind you!
It's something with teeth, isn't it? Nice monster?
We're not gonna make it in time.
Huh?
Dad, you came! You still lack skill and understanding, Estelle. You must always prepare for unseen danger by sharpening your senses. That's part of what it means to be a bracer.
Dad? What are you doing here?
I just happened to be in town and heard the whole story from Ina. I'll give you points for your quick thinking and taking action to come after the children. But you failed to follow through completely.
I really messed up, didn't I?
It's a good thing you showed up when you did. I'm sorry. I should have been watching her back. That just means that you have room for improvement. Constantly working to overcome your weak spots is the key. Understood. So, how about we head home, everyone? Can you boys walk?
I think so.
That was incredible, Mr. Bright. You were like a gazillion times more awesome than Estelle.
Of course I was. I'm her father. All right, everyone. Let's file on out of here.
I'm with you, Mr. Bright.
Who's the glory hog now? I mean, I guess I should be thankful that Dad saved my behind. But why does he have to go and take all the credit like that? It really chaps my hide!
That's just the way he is. After all, he is Cassius Bright. It seems like you've had quite a day.
Dad is just unbelievable. The second we get back to Roland, he says, "I'll leave the reporting to you," and takes off for home. The sheer nerve, I tell you.
And there's no need to make a mountain out of a molehill over it. At least the boys came back safe and sound. Anyway, I think that's all there is to report. We received payment for child rescue. 1,000 whole monies, and the 3 bracer points we're supposed to get, plus the extra one for not being an idiot.
Yay!
We're still only 9th class.
Dang it.
You did well for your first assignment. From the details of your report alone, I believe I can commend you both for a job well done. You should be proud of yourselves.
You really think so?
I know so. In fact, you'll do even better on your next job. If anything else comes up, I would appreciate your help again.
Sure.
How about we head home too?
I guess we'd better. I've still got dinner to prepare.
Would you mind holding on a second? A letter arrived for your father just a little while ago. Unfortunately, since he went straight home, I never got a chance to give it to him. Do you think you could deliver it instead?
I wonder if it's more work-related stuff.
I imagine so. The letter appears to be from one of our foreign branches. One of the Guild's foreign branches? As I'm sure you already know by now, Liberl isn't the only country where the Bracer Guild exists. On top of that, your father is widely known all across the Zemurian continent, so we can expect these kinds of letters from time to time. If you two would be so kind as to make sure he gets this letter, I would really appreciate it. He's widely known across the continent, huh? That's normal. That's a normal thing for a person to be, right?
Interesting.
Yeah. I'm sure today was tough for your first day as bracers, but you had a fine showing. I'll see you two tomorrow. I think this letter addressed to your father is important, so don't forget to give it to him. Curious. No job listings. Anybody up here? No. Shara's little drinking desk is empty for now.
Her drinking and tarot desk.
Well, I mean, I assume those
As you
bottles
do.
are booze. Maybe they shouldn't be at the guild office, but Shara and alcohol have a
stressed.
fascinating relationship, as you'll come to
Oh.
hear. It's fine. I'll let Estelle be in front again. I just changed them for a joke. But I do like that you can do that. No matter who's in the party, you can choose which one to actually walk around as.
Fun.
I am going to let this video stop here, make it make my actual goal of 30 to 40 actually hit for once, and then we'll do a run around of roll it before turning in for the night at the start of the next one. But we did our first official job. We have saved children, brought the boys back safely before anything terrible happened, got it all reported in and everything, and our dad smacked one monster in the head, and apparently that makes him a hero. Who knew?
We did the hard part.
Yeah. Kind of. Theoretically. Not on New Game Plus, but it was hard technically.
Okay. Narratively.
Narratively, we did the hard part, yes. The suspension of disbelief with our super weapons. Fare thee well, everybody.
See you later.